Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Taking a look at our wind speeds. It was a gusty night last night. We had some power outages, but the winds are calm now. We will see the winds picking up later this afternoon, and it's going to be chilly. I'll show you what it'll feel like.
The power is out for thousands of people in North Carolina because of gusty winds and trees that took down power lines. This morning, a look at the improvement that we're seeing in outages within the last hour.
And the director of the agency responsible for disaster relief in our state is out of a job this morning. What's next for Rebuild NC, as many questions who will lead the effort to rebuild Western North Carolina remain? It is a big story we are following this morning. Welcome in on your Thursday. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lovingood. Friday Eve. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, we're going to go in a little out with a jacket, maybe a puffy coat. We keep going back to the puffy coat because that's the warmest for today, Elizabeth.
Yeah, let's go out with a jacket on. That's for sure. We take a live look at downtown Raleigh right now. Beautiful, clear skies. It feels crisp, but definitely on the chilly side. We take a look at temperatures heading out the door. 41 right now in the Triangle. We have a southwest wind still right now, technically at 5 miles per hour, but that shifts today, and we'll start to see the colder air filtering in. Our wind right now is calm for the most part, 3 to 5, 6 miles per hour, but nothing like what we saw with the front that came through last night. But then this afternoon, as our wind shifts to northwesterly, we'll see some gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. That's not going to cause power outages, but it is going to make it feel chilly. That wind chill will make it feel more like 40s this afternoon. Highs will actually be in the mid 50s. And then even colder for tonight. We could see our first freeze watch of the season, our first freeze potentially of this fall season. I'll show you how cold it will be, plus the wind chill on top of it. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We got a crash on I-40 westbound causing quite a bit of delay this morning. It's near Lake Wheeler Road, and you can see that delay stretches all the way back to Hammond Road this morning. Let's take you outside, courtesy of the Live Cam Network. These are the westbound lanes on I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see traffic is moving at a rather slow, steady clip, but at least traffic is moving. So that tells me that maybe that crash might be in the clearing phase this morning. Elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, we have a couple of trouble spots to tell you about. This one here in Apex, this crash just cleared in the last 2 minutes or so as I was waiting to come on here, but you can still see the lingering delays there on US 1, even on William Street as well. Always remember you have 540 as an alternate route. This is another trouble spot for us this morning, going in and out of Durham this morning using I-885. I just checked the sensors. If you're leaving Durham, you might be looking at a 25-minute delay if you're trying to get from I-885 to I-40 this morning. But if you're heading into Durham, probably just about a 6-minute delay, but I'll keep an eye on that for you. 101.5 HD3, that's the station to listen to us. You can stay updated on your morning commute all morning long.
Thanks, Ken. More of people are seeing the lights come back on after gusty winds knocked out power overnight. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker of crews working to repair an outage on Lakeside Drive in Garner. These are the power outages at this hour, according to the tracking website poweroutage.us. A little more than 1,000 people, homes and businesses in Wake County are without power. Most of those are in the Wake Forest area. And there are also over 1,500 without power in Orange County and a little over 1,300 in Granville County.
This morning, Durham's police chief will give an update on an officer shooting a 16-year-old boy. This happened early Sunday in the parking lot of the Woodcroft Shopping Center. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains the new insight we're seeing into this shooting.
The officer that's involved in this, Corporal Rex McQueen, is still on paid administrative leave this morning. Durham police are expected to give us an update on where this case stands in a few hours. WRAL obtained this search warrant. It breaks down new details about the car 16-year-old Joshua Garcia jumped in after he was shot. It also tells us what's on the police body cam footage that hasn't been released. The search warrant says McQueen can be heard telling the suspect, put it down 4 times, get on the ground 5 times, don't do it twice, and drop it once. The document gives us a better understanding of this surveillance video from a nearby business. You can see a man running through bushes on the left corner of your screen and falling. The warrant says it's here when he gets back up that he appears to be raising a gun towards McQueen. McQueen fires multiple shots. The suspect drops the gun and runs away through the parking lot. Durham police are scheduled to have a news conference this morning at 11:15. So we'll have a crew there and keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Durham.
And WRAL is covering the press conference that's going to be held this morning. You can make sure to watch our updates in our newscasts from 4 to 7:30 p.m. on WRAL.
The Durham Police Department will present its third quarter statistics on violent crime today. It shows a decline in violent crime. Homicides are down 17%, while robberies are also down about 4.5%. There's still work to be done, though, when it comes to aggravated assault and rape. Durham Police Chief Patrice Andrews will present the report to City Council at 1 o'clock today.
The head of the state agency in charge of helping hurricane survivors, including Helene, is out of a job as of last night. Laura Hogshead was the director of the North Carolina Office of Recovery and Resiliency. It's also known as Rebuild NC. The office oversees federal hurricane recovery funds. Just days ago, she testified before the North Carolina House Oversight Committee. She was grilled about why more than 1,000 homeowners still have not been able to return to their homes years after Hurricanes Matthew and Florence. WRAL's documentary unit has covered this situation for years. Kristen Severance asked Hogshead in 2022 about the problems her office was facing.
If this is on you and you said that and you believe that, then why haven't you resigned?
I don't think that interrupting the recovery to replace the senior leadership here is the right move for the applicants.
At Monday's legislative hearing, one lawmaker asked Hogshead to resign. She refused. Pryor Gibson is now serving as interim director of Rebuild NC.
Tonight, Durham School Board will meet covering topics like substitute bus driver pay. Other items on the agenda include approvals for contractor pay on the new Durham School of the Arts and installing new fire alarms at Githens Middle School. The monthly meeting starts at 6:30 tonight.
A bill to more than double the size of North Carolina's private school voucher program is now law. The Senate voted to override the governor's veto. This will cover private school vouchers for 54,000 students who are currently on the waiting list. It will cost nearly $500 million more this year and each year in the future. The new law also requires sheriffs in North Carolina to cooperate with immigration and customs enforcement.
A 19-year-old is charged in a string of robberies at businesses across Raleigh, including the same Taco Bell twice. Sean Sincere Truth Sorolonzo is accused of robbing 3 places, including a McDonald's on Falls of Neuse Road and a Taco Bell twice. Police say these crimes happened over the last few weeks. The most recent one was on Sunday. Sorolonzo is charged with 4 counts of felony robbery with a dangerous weapon.
Wake County is updating its policy for identifying signs of bullying and other concerning behavior in schools. The district's threat assessment teams have been in place for 3 years addressing this. Data from last year shows 1,751 reports were made and investigated. That's similar to the year before. The schools haven't released the outcome of those investigations, though. Leaders are adjusting current policies to align with the new state law. That requires all public schools to have a team just like this. Time now, 8:08. American Airlines passenger, one specifically, had to be restrained because he was trying to open the cabin door. Hear how 3 men jumped into action to stop this mid-air case.
And McDonald's is dealing with broken machines again, but this time it's not ice cream. Why the fast food giant is temporarily taking espresso drinks off the menu.
It's a lot colder this morning than it was this time yesterday by about 15 to 20 degrees, 32 in Roxborough, 43 in Fayetteville. We'll see an even colder night tonight. I'll show you our first freeze watch of this fall season coming up.
Time is 8:12 and good morning as we are taking a live look at Chapel Hill. Oh, someone needs to reset the router. That camera's a little laggy there this morning. As you're watching WRAL News, available on Hulu and the WRAL app on your TV or your streaming device. Okay, so we're telling you right now before you go out to your day, get a coat, a puffy one preferably. It is cold outside, Elizabeth.
You know, and if you missed that, as soon as you open the door, you'll be like, oh, whoops, wait, let's go grab the coat. It'll let you know for sure. Fayetteville, sunny, Apexes, as well as Raleigh, Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. It's a beautiful start this morning, but it's definitely chilly. Our cold front moved through overnight last night and brought a lot of wind with it. We actually had some power outages because of that. But the wind has settled down. We still technically have a very light flow coming out of the southwest, but that switches this afternoon to a northwesterly flow, and that is going to bring us potentially our coldest morning so far this fall season. We're talking about temperatures temperatures closer to freezing. 31 Roxborough, 33 South Hill and Durham, 33 Southern Pines, 32 Rocky Mount, and say 34 for Raleigh, Clinton, 35 in Fayetteville. Freeze watch, our first one of this fall season. So don't be surprised if you run into some frost on the ground, and we may see that real first freeze. We haven't seen it yet, and we're way behind. We're a solid 2 or 3 weeks behind when we see our average first freeze of the season. Wind speeds fairly light right now, 5-6 miles per hour. But this afternoon we'll be gusting 20 to 25. We'll see that again for Friday and Saturday. So we are going to see a fairly breezy to blustery period over the next 3 days or so. So that will bring us a wind chill. Tomorrow morning, it's going to feel more like upper 20s for Durham, Roxborough, South Hill, Rocky Mount, feeling like low 30s for Raleigh, Goldsboro, Fayetteville, Clinton, Southern Pines. It's going to be really chilly. A lot of folks will be lining the parade route in Raleigh on Saturday, and it won't feel quite as cold. This is a look at the wind chill for Saturday morning, likely to feel like upper 30s to low 40s, about 10 degrees warmer than what we'll see tomorrow morning. So, I mean, that's still chilly. You still are going to need to bundle up, but it won't be quite as bitter as what we'll see tomorrow morning. We'll likely see with this cold temperatures some snow that moves down the spine of the mountains, bringing some accumulating snow possibly to the mountains of North Carolina, as much as maybe 1 to 3 inches in the higher elevations. And then up into West Virginia, where some of those ski resorts are, we could see a foot of snow or so. It will feel very festive, very Christmas-like in downtown Raleigh with those chilly temperatures on Saturday morning. It should feel like right around 40 as you're heading out. And then as the parade ends, temperature right around 50 degrees. So it'll be a chilly one. If you're headed to any of the tree lightings on Saturday evening, temperatures will be in the mid 40s. It may still be a little bit breezy. Durham, Fenton, and Cary, North Hills all having tree lightings on Saturday evening. We look ahead to next week, and there may be some potent systems that affect parts of the central and eastern parts of the country in terms of travel. There could be a big system bringing heavy rain across parts of the south and some gusty winds as well. So we'll be watching for that. Right now, it looks like our highs Thanksgiving Day will be in the 50s, and we do have a small chance of some showers. It'll be cooler then, but we do have some warmer temperatures in the forecast for next Monday and Tuesday, Ken.
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We've got a situation brewing on the Beltline this morning, particularly this crash that I'll get to in just a minute. But this is a crash on the westbound lanes of I-40, causing a little bit of delay this morning. We're seeing a lot of delay in the eastbound lane as well. So I'll keep an eye on that and let you know if it's going to affect you in any way. But here's a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. You can't see the crash on this particular camera, but you can see traffic is flowing in both directions this morning on I-40 there around Wade Avenue. But again, I'll keep an eye on it for you and let you know if it's going to affect you in any way. This is the other troubled spot this morning, the I-885 in and out of Durham this morning. If you're heading into Durham, if you're getting off I-40 westbound and heading into 885, you're looking at a 6-minute delay. But if you're leaving Durham this morning, you're looking at a 26-minute delay trying to get from the Bull City to I-40. So keep that in mind. Of course, depending on where you are, you can use Highway 70 as an alternate route to get into the capital city. Here's another troubled spot for us this morning, Millbrook Road. This crash near Six Forks Road. You can see it's causing quite a bit of congestion there on Six Forks Road, but that's probably a combination of the crash, traffic lights, and a lot of people on the road. So that's a situation that you'll just watch for some police activity in that area. You're getting ready to head out this morning. We'll keep you updated on your morning commute. Just tune us in on 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. At least 2 people are dead after strong storms hit the Northwest. In the city of Kelso, Washington, a tree came down on top of a home with 2 people inside. Claudia Ramos says her 2 kids were sitting in the living room when that tree came down on the house. Ramos says her 2 daughters are lucky to be alive, and she's thankful her older child protected her younger sister.
It definitely hits me in all the feels, like she just, her instincts kicked in, and it was gotta save my sister, we gotta get out of this house.
And the sisters have some bruises and cuts, but they will be okay. Now the family is trying to salvage what they can.
This morning, a group of passengers on an American Airlines plane had to restrain a man with duct tape, and that's because he reportedly tried to open the cabin door mid-flight. This happened on a flight from Milwaukee to Dallas on Tuesday. A flight attendant told police the man stood up during the flight and said he needed to get off the plane immediately. He then rushed to get to the cabin door, and that is when 3 passengers pinned him down and restrained his wrists and ankles. The man was taken into custody once the plane landed, but charges have not yet been filed. It's unclear if he was suffering a mental health episode.
Students in Ukraine gathered to honor those lost in the war with Russia with a candlelight vigil. The students lit 659 candles to honor the children who have died. The ceremony coincided with World Children's Day. The school's director says she hopes the ceremony will show the world the severity of war.
A man is facing charges because authorities say he planned to bomb the New York Stock Exchange. FBI agents say Harun Abdul Malik Yenner was storing bomb-making supplies in a Florida storage unit. They say he told undercover agents he planned to bomb the stock exchange to force a, quote, reset of the U.S. government. Investigators also say he made a series of audio recordings that would be sent to NBC News around the time of the bombing. Yenner was arrested and he's currently awaiting trial.
An American and an Australian have died from alcohol poisoning in Laos. That takes the death toll up to 4 in a series of what investigators believe is methanol drink spiking. Methanol is sometimes used as the alcohol in mixed drinks at bars and can cause severe poisoning or death. The U.S. is providing consular assistance in Laos' local investigation. Australia has issued a travel advisory to exercise caution when drinking in that country.
You may not be able to grab your morning espresso at McDonald's for a while. The company has temporarily stopped selling espresso drinks. That's because of a safety issue the manufacturer of the espresso machines reported. Customers will not be able to order macchiatos, Americanos, iced lattes, or cappuccinos in certain locations across the country. Coffee drinks, though, and apparently ice cream will still be available.
A warning if you use skincare products from Drunk Elephant. The company is recalling some of its products because they may cause skin irritation. The recall is for its Bestie No. 9 Jelly Cleaner as well as 2 face creams. If you have any of the recalled products, you'll need to fill out a form to get a prepaid shipping label to return them for a refund.
The DOJ wants to force Google to sell its Chrome web browser. In a court filing, antitrust enforcers say that Google should sell Chrome to prevent an illegal monopoly. The DOJ wants a federal judge to force this sale. And if that happens, it could potentially disrupt the ways that many of Google's products and services work together. A ruling earlier this year found Google violated antitrust laws with its search business. Google says, though, it will appeal that ruling. Hollywood is gearing up for award season. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
I can't believe my life.
Believe it, Viola Davis is already an EGOT, an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony winner, and now she's receiving the highest honor from the Golden Globes. Davis is the 2025 Cecil B. DeMille Award honoree. She'll be recognized at a gala dinner January 3rd in Beverly Hills and on the Golden Globes telecast January 5th.
He's not in love with you.
What makes you think I want someone to be in love with me?
The Gotham Awards love Zendaya. They're giving the actress this year's Spotlight tribute for her performance in Challengers. The 34th Gotham Awards will be handed out December 2nd in New York.
We got a feeling we were getting a glimpse of the future.
AARP The Magazine has some Bob Dylan fans. A Complete Unknown is up for 5 honors at the magazine's Movies for Grown-Ups Awards, including Best Picture. The other Best Picture nominees, Conclave, which is up for 6 awards, including Best Actor for Ralph Fiennes, the musical Emilia Perez, up for a total of 3 honors, Gladiator 2, which received 4 nominations, and September 5, also with 4 nominations. The Movies for Grown-Ups Awards will take place January 11th in Beverly Hills and be telecast on PBS February 23rd. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
There is a new mandatory waiver for participants in the Raleigh Christmas Parade. The waiver removes any responsibility from the city of Raleigh should anything happen to those participating in the parade. It comes 2 years after 11-year-old Haley Brooks was killed at the parade. Her family has filed a lawsuit against those they feel are responsible for her death, including the city of Raleigh. The family's attorney, Jason Miller, feels this waiver doesn't address the right issue.
I think that it sends a terrible message. I think the city needs to focus on safety and on ensuring that no other child is impacted the way this family's been impacted.
More than 100 vehicles, floats, and antique cars will be in this year's parade, along with 50 walking groups, all of which are required to sign these waivers. And President Joe Biden has a big job to do next week. The national Thanksgiving turkeys will be pardoned on Monday on the White House South Lawn. The birds are arriving from Minnesota over the weekend. This is the 77th annual turkey presentation. Folklore says the tradition originated during Abraham Lincoln's administration.
The city wants to know what to do with the former Raleigh DMV site. Today, we're going to talk about how you can share your ideas and have questions about this project answered directly.
And former WRAL anchor Donna Gregory died earlier this week after a battle with stage 4 lung cancer. Over the last 5 years, she was an anchor at WWAY-TV in Wilmington, but from 1988 to 1996, Donna became a household name as an anchor at WRAL. Maybe you remember her. She often traveled with sports teams for the Final Four, and the team had a lot of fun in those days. Gregory was diagnosed with cancer in April. She documented her treatment online. Her children posted on her Facebook page her final weeks spent with us by her bedside were filled with the same love and strength she shared.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We are starting out very chilly this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, we're in the 40s.
Temperatures are a lot colder than this time yesterday. We were in the 60s and now 40s, but nice and clear. The wind is going to start to pick up. The whirligigs are pretty still here in Wilson right now. Durham is looking quiet, and so is Fayetteville. But this afternoon, our winds will start to gust up to around 20-25 miles per hour. That's just going to make it feel extra chilly. Mostly low to mid 40s as you're heading out the door right now. We'll see the winds gusting this afternoon, 20 to 25 miles per hour. It won't cause power outages, but it's just going to make it feel chilly. So no matter when you're outside today, that jacket's going to feel good. Our highs are in the mid 50s. We could see temperatures down near freezing overnight tonight, Ken.
Elizabeth, there's a crash on I-885 in the southbound lanes near Cornwallis Road that's causing some slowdowns there. You're looking at a 15-minute delay, so keep that in mind. We're also seeing congestion building on the southwestern loop of the Beltline this morning, starting around the Jones-Franklin Road, stretching all the way back to the Wade Avenue split. In terms of delays coming into the capital city, here's what you're looking at this morning. The real trouble spot, I-87, those lanes, it's going to take you almost an hour to get to Knightdale, from Knightdale to the capital city. I'll keep an eye on that for you for sure. And of course, 10 minutes on US 1 coming into the capital city, and have an update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
Thanks, Ken. Laura Hogshead, the head of the state agency in charge of helping hurricane survivors, was fired last night. This comes after she testified on why some are still not back in their homes years after Hurricanes Matthew and Florence. Pryor Gibson is now serving as the interim director of Rebuild NC. Next on Fox 50, a Raleigh gas station is reopening today after a stolen van crashed into it over the summer. And next on today's Throwback Thanksgiving, learn recipes from 20-plus chefs from across the country.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It's a cold start out there this morning. Our cold front moved through overnight. We're looking at 30s and 40s heading out the door right now. Tonight could be even colder. I'll show you a freeze watch that could go into effect.
And in just a few hours, Durham police will provide an update on the shooting of a 16-year-old, what a newly released search warrant reveals about the moments leading up to that shooting.
And this morning, the person who oversees North Carolina's hurricane rebuilding efforts is no longer employed by the state. This morning here, what's next for the people who are recovering during Hurricane Helene? A lot of people obviously have a lot of things going on there and need that help right now.
They do.
We'll be diving into that. Thank you for joining us here this morning. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Starting off pretty chilly this morning. I got the heavier coat out this morning, and I know Elizabeth did too.
Absolutely, and it's going to be an even bigger one for tomorrow heading out the door. Taking a live look at downtown Raleigh right now. Beautiful blue skies. We had some windy conditions overnight last night, but the wind has settled down, still out of the southwest, but just 5 to 10. We had some power outages because of the strong winds last night, but that's not likely to repeat itself today. That was right along the front. 41 is our temperature in the Triangle. Right now, our winds are anywhere from just light to around 5 miles per hour, but later this afternoon, the winds will start to pick up. We'll see gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. It's not likely to cause power outages, but it will make it feel a good bit colder than it actually is. And this morning, our temperatures are 20 degrees colder than they were yesterday. This afternoon, it'll be about 10 degrees colder, high temperatures in the mid 50s. We do have a freeze watch that is in effect for late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Temperatures could feel like upper 20s to low 30s with the wind chill. We'll take a look at it coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, we're following some breaking news to the east of Raleigh this morning. Here's what we're talking about. This crash on I I-87 in those southbound lanes. And then New Hope Road, you can see it's causing quite a bit of delay in those southbound lanes. Let's take you out live to the live traffic cam. You see at least 2 or 3 lanes are blocked as a result of that crash. You see emergency personnel there on the scene, and that delay stretches all the way back to Smithfield Road. I'll tell you, if you're listening to us on the radio, 101.5 HD3, get off on Smithfield Road, maybe Hodge Road, and get over to Pool Road. That will be your best bet to avoid what's happening there on those 87 lanes southbound. We have a serious crash on 885 in the southbound lanes near Cornwallis Road, causing traffic jam in both directions. Now, you're probably on-look a delay going into Durham, but you're just looking at a 9-minute delay if you're trying to get from the Bull City to I-40 this morning. So give yourself a little extra time just to be on the safe side. You see a lot of icons dotting the map this morning, but the ones that I want you to really know about, really it's about this congestion in the southwestern loop of the Beltline this morning. Really, it's just congestion that's really causing this delay this morning. I tried to see if there was a crash of some sort, but no, it's just a lot of people on the roads this morning. So you're probably looking at a 5 to 10 minute delay on that southwestern loop of the Beltline this morning, coming in from Garner, Johnson County. Maybe you might want to use the northern loop of the Beltline just to be on the safe side. All right, you're getting ready to head out this morning. Tune in to us, 101.5 HD3. We'll keep you updated about your morning commute.
Looks like more people are seeing the lights come back on after gusty winds knocked them out overnight. This is video. We had video of the WRAL breaking news tracker. They were having a little issue loading it there, but essentially we saw some crews out on Lakeside Drive in Garner. And we know that some of the outages that we're seeing at this hour, according to the tracking website poweroutage.us, right here on your screen, a little more than 1,800 homes and businesses in Wake County are without power. Most of those are in the Wake Forest area. There are also more than 1,500 without power in Orange County and a little more than 1,300 in Granville County.
Today, the question is, who will lead efforts to help people in North Carolina recover from Helene? The head of the state agency in charge of helping hurricane survivors was fired last night. Laura Hogshead was the director of the North Carolina Office of Recovery and Resiliency, also known as Rebuild NC. The office oversees federal hurricane recovery funds. Her ousting comes days after she testified before the North Carolina House Oversight Committee. She was grilled about why more than 1,000 homeowners are still not back in their homes years after Hurricanes Matthew and Florence. At Monday's legislative hearing, at least one lawmaker asked Hogshead to resign, but she refused. Pryor Gibson is now serving as interim director of Rebuild NC.
Today, a Raleigh gas station is set to reopen after a stolen van crashed into the storefront. This happened on Pole Road the morning of July 26th. The van was stolen from the Durham Rescue Mission. The bomb squad was called to make sure there were no hazardous materials. A man was arrested and charged for making a false bomb threat and crashing into that building. That's Local 76 will be celebrating their repairs and reopening today with a discount on fuel, activities, music, and food too.
Police in Johnston County are looking for 2 men accused of holding construction workers at gunpoint and stealing copper tubing. It happened Monday morning at a construction site in Wilson Mills. Workers there say thieves stole the tubing from a container. Then they tried robbing the workers at gunpoint. The town's police chief says this is one of a number of recent thefts from housing construction sites. The chief says he is working with construction sites to get them to join the police department's security camera network.
Durham residents will share their thoughts on city budget priorities over dinner tonight. The city has recently hosted community conversations to better understand how taxpayers want their money spent. The events are only by registration and include a free meal and childcare on site. Tonight's meeting is the 6th of its kind, and it will include a Spanish-speaking presentation. Previous discussions have covered topics such as affordable housing, public safety, infrastructure, and workforce development.
Today, you can learn more about the future of the former DMV headquarters site on New Bern Avenue in Raleigh. City staff will be there from 11 to 2 today to meet with people and answer their questions. The city bought the site from the state in June. It plans to demolish the buildings and use the property for what it's calling community-driven development. It's happening in connection with the New Bern Station area plan. They are still in the lengthy phase of gathering community opinions before any major decisions about the property's future is set in stone. The existing building is set to be demolished sometime next summer.
Wake County Public Schools now have to give parents more information about substitutes in their child's classroom. Schools must notify families if they expect a class to need a substitute teacher for at least 2 weeks. And the same goes for if a substitute teacher has taught for 2 weeks. Currently, there are no requirements for when families should be notified. Parents told school board members they were not being notified. The county is down more than 200 teachers at last check.
UNC Chapel Hill will share a little over $20 million with its athletes next year. Universities nationwide are doing this now because of new NCAA rules. UNC's athletic director says to pay for this, fans could see more corporate sponsorships, ticket fees, and cost cutting, but nothing is official just yet.
Covering Cumberland County, the construction leaders behind the Crown Event Center project will host a pre-bid meeting for subcontractors. The meeting will cover all bid packages except site work, aggregate piers, concrete, and steel. This meeting will be held virtually at 4 p.m. The Crown Event Center will feature a 3-story main event hall with a capacity of approximately 3,000 people. The Crown Event Center is expected to open in spring 2027.
The Carolina Hurricanes just keep winning. They scored 3 goals in the third period last night to put away the Philadelphia Flyers. The final score was 4-1. The Hurricanes are now 14-4 on the season. That's the best record in the Eastern Conference. They'll try to keep it up tonight when they play in New Jersey against the Devils.
2 top 5 teams face off Saturday on Fox 50 in a game that will help shape the college football playoff. Number 2 Ohio State hosts number 5 undefeated Indiana. And yes, you can catch all the action on Fox 50. That starts at noon. Asheville's brewery scene has been struggling since Helene destroyed much of western North Carolina. This morning, how some businesses are still able to operate and the effort to help those who can't.
And American Airlines is cracking down on cutting the line. Their new system preventing people from trying to board early. That's all ahead.
And we do have a live look this morning. This is Franklin 10. Yeah, see that super at the bottom left there? Chilly air today. That's giving you a little preview of what to expect. Grab that jacket, folks, and sit tight. Elizabeth Gardner will walk you through when we could see things even hit the first frost point.
Welcome back on your Thursday morning. A pretty look over Fayetteville. Sun is shining, no clouds in the sky, but it is chilly. The sun's going to try to warm us up as best as it can today, but it's still going to be a pretty cold day out there.
It is. It's chilly out there, especially compared to what we saw yesterday. But yesterday it was cloudy and rainy, and it felt, kind of like a miserable day, but it wasn't that cold. Temperatures were in the upper 60s. Chilly this morning. We take a live look at downtown, courtesy of Jimmy V camera. 41 degrees. Our dew point is a very low 32. It just means it's very dry out there. We do have 37 in Roxborough, but it's 42 in Southern Pines. Looking mostly at low to mid 40s now. The wind from last night that caused some power outages has settled down, so we don't have much of a wind chill this morning or any additional problems. But boy, it's a lot colder than it was this time yesterday. 15 degrees colder in South Hill. It's 22 degrees colder in the Triangle, so you'll feel that. Our winds right now are fairly calm out of the southwest at about 5 to 6 miles per hour, but they will pick up later this afternoon. We're going to see our winds shifting to northwesterly with some gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. That won't be enough to cause any power outages, and it looks like all the power outages from last night have been resolved for the most part, and that's definitely a good thing. They were all the way back across the Triad through our area as that front moved through. 56 in Raleigh, 55 Durham, 59 in Fayetteville, so it's a cool afternoon out there. This low pressure system rotating counterclockwise, grabbing some cool air from the north and pushing it right on in. We get a reinforcing batch of cold air for late today and tonight, which is going to drop our temperatures even more for tomorrow morning. So looking at our normal low at 39, we'll be looking at low to mid 30s for tomorrow morning. Saturday and Sunday, upper 30s to low 40s. It's nice to see that the temperatures might be a little bit warmer Saturday morning for all of us who will be at the Raleigh Christmas Parade. It's all about us, and you too, because hopefully you'll be there. Freeze possible tonight. Our temperatures will be in the low to mid 30s, and then the wind chill will make it feel even colder than that. We have our first freeze watch watch of the season for tonight, and it does cover the entire area. Forecast wind chill for tomorrow morning, upper 20s, 28 Roxborough, 29 South Hill, 30 in Raleigh, 32 in Fayetteville. So it's really going to be a cold start tomorrow, but Saturday morning should feel a little warmer, right around 40 degrees at around 7 or 8 a.m. So if you're headed out to the Christmas parade, you still want to bundle up. It will be sunny, but it's going to be breezy and chilly. At least it won't be down close to freezing. We're looking at a little bit of a warm up as we get through the weekend, and then potentially turning cooler and maybe a little bit wet for the days just leading up to Thanksgiving. That could affect your plans. We'll keep watching that, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we're staying on top of some breaking news to the east of Raleigh. We're talking specifically about this crash on I-87 in the southbound lane near New Hope Road, courtesy of a live cam network. Let's show you exactly what we're talking about. You see emergency vehicles there on the medium of the road, and at least 2 of the 3 lanes are blocked this morning, so traffic is barely getting through there. Let's widen the view to give you an idea of what we're talking about here. You can see this stretches all the way back to Smithfield Road, so if you're listening to us on the radio definitely this morning, get off on Smithfield Road, work your way over to Pool Road as an alternate route to avoid what's happening in those 87 lanes coming in this morning. You see a lot of icons dotting the map, really and truly, but we will specifically hone in on certain things that will definitely affect you this morning. And this crash near on 885 in the southbound lane at Cornwallis Road, that's causing a bit of a delay this morning. 14 minutes in terms of getting from the Bull City to I-40 this morning. So keep that in mind. You're about to head out. And if you are heading out, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. We'll keep you updated on your morning commute.
And Jeff Hogan at the WRAL Live Center. The response has been swift from Israel and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, not in military response, but in strong words and actions for the International Criminal Court, which has said it has issued arrest warrants for crimes of war. As the arrest warrant you see right here, Benjamin Netanyahu, that's one person, but former defense minister for Israel, as well as some top Hamas leaders. Netanyahu has condemned this international court's arrest warrant against him, saying Israel, quote, rejects with disgust the absurd and false actions. The warrant accuses all parties of war crimes in this, saying it found reasonable grounds to believe that Netanyahu bears criminal responsibility for those war crimes, including starvation as a method of warfare and crimes against humanity of murder, persecution, and other inhumane acts. The Prime Minister's office has dismissed the warrants as absurd and anti-Semitic.
Friends of Erica Holton are remembering her through her love of music and poetry. Holton is one of 3 people who were found dead in a home in Cary on Monday. Last night, her friends honored her during an open mic session at City Soul Cafe in Raleigh. Holton was a regular on the stage, where she was known as Mrs. E and Mama E. The cafe's co-founder described how he wants people to remember her.
As a person who overcame cancer twice, as a survivor, as a warrior, as a lover, as a mother, as a friend. I hope she's remembered as someone who never stopped giving.
Cary's police investigation into the deaths of Holton, her son Xavier, and Xavier's girlfriend, Amina Guy, that's still ongoing.
The death penalty is still a possibility for the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. Yesterday, an Idaho judge ruled that prosecutors can continue to pursue the death penalty against Brian Kohberger. Defense attorneys filed 13 alternative motions in September, arguing against it, claiming it would violate his constitutional rights. The judge ruled that the motions were not strong enough to stop a death penalty sentencing. The trial is set to begin August of next year.
A Utah judge dismissed a wrongful death lawsuit Gabby Petito's family filed. She was reported missing in 2021. That was weeks after police responded to a domestic violence case involving her and her then fiance, Brian Laundrie. Her body was found weeks later. Petito's parents filed the lawsuit against the Moab Police Department, claiming they mishandled her case. However, a judge ruled that a state law gives the department immunity from being sued. The family's lawyers plan to appeal because they say that ruling, it's unconstitutional.
Today is the first of 3 public comment sessions for the state's Environmental Management Commission. They want to hear from you on their proposed standards for PFAS substances in groundwater. The first meeting is today at 6 p.m. in Charlotte. There will also be a comment session here in Raleigh on December 3rd. Speakers will need to register before the hearing date.
Covering Lee County today, the city of Sanford will break ground on a new agricultural marketplace. The project will be part of Sanford's Central Green. Basically, it's like a community space that connects downtown and East Sanford to City Hall. The groundbreaking starts at 2:30 in the marketplace's future location on 1st Street and Charlotte Avenue.
Asheville is known for its craft beer scene, but in the aftermath of Helene, brewing has essentially come to a halt for the more than 75 breweries and near the city. Asheville's craft beer industry generates more than $900 million a year into the economy. Many breweries were severely damaged by flooding from Helene. Wedge Brewery in the River Arts District lost almost everything. They are rebuilding during a time of year when they would normally be filled with customers.
And to feel like you're going into your busiest season of the year and you're very well prepared for that, and then it's completely gone the next day.
Breweries that weren't badly damaged are facing the challenge of having to truck water in for use in their brewing. Burial Brewing says that costs them about $1,000 a day. Burial plans to team up with Wedge to collaborate on a special beer to benefit breweries.
Country music's biggest night handed out the honors at the CMAs last night. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with a recap.
Hit music, top honors, star collaborations. We're in Nashville to bring you highlights from the 58th Annual CMA Awards. It was a country music party full of performances, starting with Chris Stapleton and Post Malone. Other performers included Shabuzi, Ella Langley, and Riley Green, Thomas Rhett and Teddy Swims, Luke Combs, Kelsey Ballerini, and Noah Kahn, Cody Johnson and Carrie Underwood, Brooks and Dunn and Jelly Roll, Lainey Wilson, Luke Bryan, and many more.
Welcome to the CMA Awards.
Country music's biggest night! The night was hosted by Wilson Bryan and Peyton Manning.
George Strait.
A star-studded lineup joined George Strait as he was honored with this year's Lifetime Achievement Award.
But Eric has donated in perpetuity his song, Darkest Hour, to the people of our home state affected by the hurricane.
Luke Combs introduced Eric Church. Both have raised more than $24 million for hurricane relief.
Entertainer of the Year.
Taking home new trophies. Morgan Wallen won Entertainer of the Year.
Chris Stapleton!
Chris Stapleton took his 8th Male Vocalist of the Year award and Single and Song of the Year for White Horse. Old Dominion made history, earning the most consecutive wins for Vocal Group of the Year with a 7th win. Brooks and Dunn won Vocal Duo of the Year for a 15th time. Megan Maroney is the new Artist of the Year.
Thank y'all so much.
Lainey Wilson has her 3rd Female Vocalist of the Year award. Album of the Year went to Cody Johnson for Leather.
Great night.
That was Ashley Dvorkin reporting. American Airlines is cracking down on people who cut the line in more airports in time for the holiday season. The airline says it's rolling out its new boarding technology to over 100 airports this week. That includes Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International, and the new technology will alert gate agents when a passenger tries to board before their assigned group. It was being tested at 3 airports, and so far passengers have been pleased with the system.
Dancers from the Triangle will get to shine on national television in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. 69 local high school dancers from the Holly Springs School of Dance will represent North Carolina in New York City. 2 of them will be stopping by the WRAL studios to talk about their preparations. That's at 9 o'clock this morning. This is their 8th time in the parade since 2003. Dancers from Legacy Dance Productions and Zebulon will also perform, as well as Hillsborough Cheer and Dance. Clinton High School senior Bailey Waters will be playing in the prestigious Macy's Great American Marching Band. You can watch for them when the parade airs live on WRAL next Thursday.
And join WRAL this weekend for a local holiday tradition. It's the 80th annual Raleigh Christmas Parade. Join us this Saturday, November 23rd for dazzling floats, festive music, and of course, Santa. The live holiday event starts at 9 a.m. on WRAL. Chris and I will be out there. Jeff and Renee, Elizabeth, Ken, we're all going to be out there.
We're going to be out there bright and early,
yes,
so you
we are.
better be watching. No, I'm kidding. Hey, before we go to break, here's a look at the winning lottery numbers. And, of course, we'll get you another check on weather and traffic.